Hi everybody, it's Miss Wilson. Today we are going to be starting to learn about alphabetical order, or ABC order as I like to call it. Some of you have already learned a little bit about ABC order, maybe from first grade or maybe from doing your spelling homework, putting your spelling words in ABC order. It's a really important skill to learn because in your life there are lots of places, a lot of the times on computers even, where people will make lists in ABC order. So like in your classroom, your mailboxes are probably in ABC order. Or I know for my class, my line order is in ABC order. So as grown-ups, you will use this skill a lot, and you definitely need to know it for third grade. So here we go. Welcome to the Alphabet Farm. The alphabet has 26 letters, and I'm sure that you know all of them. So while I'm showing the letters in just a moment, I want you to be singing that ABC song in your head, because that, even though that's a little bit of a silly song for second graders, it is important and it will help you to put words in ABC order. So here are our letters. All right, keep that in your brain. And remember that when we're putting words in ABC order, it's a great idea every single time to write your whole alphabet on your paper. So if you're doing a worksheet about ABC order, write it on the top or write it on the bottom, because having it there on the paper is going to help you a ton, I promise. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is help the pigs place the letters in alphabetical order. Write the answer on your whiteboard. Well, I know you don't have a whiteboard, so if you could pause the video and get a scrap piece of paper right now, that would be awesome. Okay, here are the three letters we're going to start with. So we have A, S, and B. And right now they're not in ABC order. Our job is to put them in ABC order. So as you can see on the bottom of the screen, there is the alphabet, okay, right down here. And we are going to be using that alphabet a lot to figure out our answers, okay? And I'm going to switch to a pen real quick. Okay, so the strategy that I like to use is I look at my three letters, A, S, and B, and I just go through the alphabet. And as I go through the alphabet, I'm going to stop if I see one of those letters. So this is going to be an easier one because I see the very first letter of the alphabet is one of our letters. So I'm going to go up here and put a 1 next to the A. On your scrap piece of paper, all you need to do is write A because that's our first one. Okay, then we're going to go A, B, and that's one of our letters as well. So I'm going to write a 2. And on your scrap paper, you can just write like an A and then a B under that. And I apologize, it's messy on the computer. Okay, and then of course, we're pretty sure that S is going to be last, but I'm going to look at the alphabet just to make sure. Okay, so I'm going to go through all my letters, and I'm going to stop when I get to S. There it is. Okay, so that's number 3. And on your scrap piece of paper, you should have A, B, S. Okay. All right, let me see if I can go back to, here. All right, so this is showing what you should have for your answer. Give yourself a pat on the back, and let's do another one. So our letters are M, B, and K. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a minute, and on your scrap piece of paper, I want you to try to put those 3 in ABC order. All right, so as you go through the alphabet, you're looking for these 3 letters. You see that B comes first, and then K comes next, and then M comes last. So on your scrap piece of paper, you should have B, K, M. All right, so now we're back for part 2 of alphabetical order. This time we are going to be putting actual words in alphabetical order. So we always start by looking at the first letter of each word. I'll say that again. Always start with the first letter. So what I like to do is take my pencil and underline the first letter of each word so that I can focus on it. Okay, and then just like we already did with the letters, we're going to look through the alphabet at the bottom until we find these three letters. So now we're looking for A, R, B. Okay, so A is the first letter of the alphabet again, so that means this whole word is our first word. So on your scrap piece of paper, go ahead and write the word ant. I'll write it up here. Okay, now we're looking for R and B, and B is the second letter of the alphabet. So the word bat is the second word, and I'm going to write it underneath ant. Okay, and we're pretty sure that rat is going to be third, but we need to make sure that that R is after the A and the B, and here's that R right here. So we know that rat is the third word in ABC order. Okay, so ant, bat, and rat is what you should have just like that. There it is. Very good. All right, let's try another one. Go ahead and pause your video and try to put this in ABC order yourself. All right, let's go ahead and check it. So you should have D is the first letter. Well, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and underline these just to remind you. So that helps us focus on the first letter of each word. So D is our first one. So dog is our first word. And then H is the second letter. And then N is the third. Okay, so your answer should be dog, ham, and net in that order. All right, go ahead and pause your video again and try this one. All right, so hopefully you underlined those first three letters and then look through your alphabet. So we're looking for W, L, and S. The first one we get to is the L, so the word log is first. And then we get to S, so the word sum is second. And then we get to W, so the word wet is third. So your answer should be log, sum, and wet. All right, the last part of our ABC order lesson is going to be what do we do when two words start with the same letter? So look at these words down here. We have bat, mat, and bus. And so just like we always should do, we're going to underline the first letters of each word. And when you do that, you're going to notice that bat and bus both start with B. Okay, and then of course mat starts with M. So first you have to figure out which one of those comes first, B or M. Most of you probably already know B comes first. So now that we know bat and bus are going to be before mat, we've got to figure out which one comes first, bat or bus. So what I like to do is I actually will cross out those letters and underline the next one. Okay, so now we're looking at A and U. So we know from our alphabet that A comes before U. So bat is going to come before bus. So bat's going to be first, bus will be second, and then we know that mat will be third because we already looked at those first letters before. Okay, so this is a little bit more difficult, but I know you guys can do it with practice. Okay, so here's what that answer looks like. All right, now I want us to do this together. So this one I want you to put on your scrap paper. So go ahead and write the words down and underline those beginning letters. Okay, and we have to figure out, does L come first or does P come first? Both of these start with a P. So let's look at our alphabet. There's L. L comes first. So we can go ahead and say that lip is going to be the first word. Now, there's P. So we know P definitely comes second, but we've got to look at the second letter after the P. So I'm going to cross out the P, underline the I and the E, looking at the second letter, and we have to figure out which one comes first, I or E. So go back to the beginning, and there's E. So E is going to be word number 2, and then here's I, just to make sure. The I is going to be number 3, so it should be lip, pet, and then pig. There's the order that you should have. Okay? All right, you guys pause your video and try this one. All right, let's check. So, just like always, we underline the first letter first. We always start there. Okay, we see we've got an M, an L, and another M. Okay, but we still are going to start with the first letter. We have to figure out what comes first, an L or an M. So looking at your alphabet, we see that L comes first. So we know that log will be our first word. And then M comes right after. So for mug and mop, we have to figure out which one of those is going to come next. So we looked at the second letter. So cross out the first letter on both of those. Now we're looking at the U and the O. So look back at your alphabet. And when we get to O or U, we're going to stop, and there's O. So mop is next. And just to make sure, yep, there's U. And it's way after mop, so mug is third. So your order should be log, mop, and then mug. Very nice job. And here's just a little joke, just to break it up. How does a chicken mail a letter to her friend? In a henvelope. Ha ha ha. Okay, we're just going to do a couple more. This says, place the buckets of milk in alphabetical order and write the answer on your whiteboard. Okay, so just like normal, we're going to underline. And you guys go ahead and pause your video and try this one yourselves. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and show the answers because you guys should have this now. Crab,